Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto, and wow, we have a lot going on right now. So let's start with Celsius. Celsius, Bankrupt Celsius, has been allowed to open up, well, at least start creating a facility for Bitcoin mining. Now, this is only one of the ideas that they have to try to stabilize the business. That said, wow, the world is having an energy crisis. Let me start a business that's energy intensive. I'm not even going to try to unpack that. Whistleblowers are coming out. Well, I guess they're late whistleblowers, but people are coming out, former employees are coming out against Celsius saying that, hey, and I mentioned this yesterday, Three Arrows Capital might not have been the reason why Celsius went down. It was most likely due to piss poor management. Seriously. So when you stop and you unpack that and you look at that and you kind of say, well, wait a minute. So they used the Three Arrows Capital debacle to cover up their poor business decisions and other things. Remember, they missed out on a $6 billion bailout because they weren't going to be transparent with their finances. Like my friend Arsenio Hall. Anyway, Mastercard, a lot of places are billing this as a Nexo deal. It's really a Mastercard deal, right? I told you before that Mastercard has been making moves to kind of figure out what its lane is going to be in the future. So what have they done? They've actually added Nexo as a feature to their platform that enables people to leverage their digital assets for fiat purchases. Now I want you to think about that. I'm not a big fan. Now, it's a good move. And for those that know how to manage their money, it's a good thing. However, for those people that don't know how to manage their money or aren't so good at it, leveraging their digital assets could be a little bit of a problem, right? So I tell people all the time, be mindful of leveraging. If you're not confident that you can handle things, don't do it, right? Don't do it. There's something else I want you to keep track of from a business perspective. That means there are two sets of people here that are going to be hit with additional charges. Remember, I'm a big fan of decentralized finance. This is a place where crypto transactions as well as a part of that. Now, looking at this is two companies that are going to have their hands in your pockets. One is going to have at least one hand in the vendor's pocket, and the other one's going to have their hand in the end user's pocket. Both sides lose, these two companies win. Eesh. Just saying. So pay attention to that. Pay very close attention to that. Now on the vendor side, they're not gonna see a difference, right? The credit card companies already have their hands in their pockets. And they're not going to see anything with regard to the transaction. The plus side to the end user who's actually using their digital asset is that they'll be able to take that card and go into 90 million different stores and make fiat purchases based on their digital assets value. Now, I want you to take this extreme scenario, $69,000 for Bitcoin drops to, low 20s, even mid, high teens, like 17.6, which is so far seemingly like it's the current bottom. Maybe. That's all I'm going to say is maybe. We hit there. We haven't revisited it for a little while, and we seem to be on an uptick. Still, imagine you've used your card. You had digital assets. It was worth really high. And you used your card. You bought a couple of things, and now it takes a drop. Now what are your digital assets worth? Do they call you up and say, hey, you've got to kick up some money? Or just how does that work? So before you do something, do your own research and really dig in. Now, another news, Gemini, the crypto platform started by the Winklevoss twins. Just because you have money doesn't mean you know how to make money. They got their money because of that whole, Facebook debacle when Facebook first got started, now called Meta. Now, they're laying off another 800 people. Doesn't that tell you that they don't know how to run a business? It kind of tells me they don't know how to run a business, right? They're being sued by the CFTC for allegedly making false and misleading statements. That's kind of a big deal. And they've already, and before that was announced, they knew it was coming. Before that was announced, they had already laid off about 100 people. So from 100 people to now 800 people, yeesh. Yeah, I wouldn't go near Gemini like, nope, not me, nuh-uh. So if I had holdings in Gemini, I'd be getting them out right now. Just the same way I did with Coinbase. Now, Coinbase's stock went up, yesterday, and it's probably going to go up again a little bit today because of the value of the crypto space. But at the same time that happens, Binance just flipped them. Binance now has more Bitcoin holdings there than Coinbase. Coinbase used to be number one. Just things don't seem to be going quite well for Coinbase. Egg on their face not being number one in Bitcoin holdings. GameStop just totally trouncing their NFT marketplace, but GameStop's NFT marketplace, sounds painful to me. SBF and I agree. The next global economic impact, macro impact, obviously, is probably going to be another pandemic. We weren't prepared before. We haven't learned our lesson after this one. We're still scratching our heads and trying to figure out, should we put masks back on? There's another resurgence, and should we not? And blah, blah, blah. California's like, oh, we should reintroduce it. Just so many different things going on around a pandemic, and we haven't gotten our shit straight. And that's one macro event that can happen. Another one is, at least in the United States, is we haven't made significant investments in our labor force, in our workforce. That means that we don't necessarily have the right amount of people with the right kind of skills to move into the future. That is a macro event, and we're living that right now. Seriously, the United States is living that right now. Just look at how many people we have to import to get the job done, because we're not bright enough to make significant improvements in our educational system. I want you to let that wash over you for a minute, right? Everybody's scrambling for more money, but they don't want to invest in the future. And this isn't just, in the labor force. Just look at everything that's going on. There is an energy crunch around the world, and we don't want to invest in simple things like, teaching people how to work with solar and wind and other green kind of technologies. We're still, crying about, oh, we got to use fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are finite. They're finite. That means there's an end to it. And we could be rapidly approaching that end. Okay? That's going to be another macro event, and it's happening now. Look at Europe. They have a crazy heat wave. Oh, yeah. Crazy heat wave, but, global warming doesn't exist. Just imagine those people. Just seriously, it does exist. Cut it out. And there's already an energy crunch there, right? Germany is already feeling it. Russian pipeline not happening. They're heavily reliant on Russian energy, so that is a major problem, and it's going to be felt. It's going to be felt in major ways. So in the United States, energy prices might have come down a little bit. Gas prices are down today. Yeah, it's not going to stay that way. It's not going to stay that way. So start making plans. So those are macro events that are going to hit. Not to mention Ken Moelis of Moelis and Company says that, listen, we have issues with, our labor force and other things. Just how do you fix those things? How do you make those investments? There are tons of ways, tons of people telling you how to do it. So start paying attention to what's there. I'm just looking for a couple of notes that I'm shooting down. So, Sam Bankman-Fried is, on point, right? I can't talk about it enough. There are macro events that are simmering right now that could hit. That could really hit. Start doing your own research and get out there. OpenSea, good move. They're trying to become a multi-chain NFT marketplace, right? They just launched their Solana launchpad. That's actually a pretty cool deal. Imagine being able to, buy and sell on one marketplace across multiple different chains. So that would mean here's Solana. Eventually, that would mean Cardano's got to come on board. They already have Ethereum, so there are a lot of things that need to happen. In a market where there are so many NFT marketplaces popping up, GameStop being one of the latest, and already trouncing Coinbase. Oof. If I'm Coinbase, I'm scratching my head. I'm trying to figure things out. Your stock might be up, but you're still down overall. I think they need to rethink and regroup and refocus over there. I still don't, have any of my money over there anymore. Maybe I'll use it as it's a pass-through transaction for me. I need to buy some Bitcoin to flip it to Polygon, let's say, right? I'm gonna buy it there, maybe. But I just figured out that, sometimes Cash App has a lower price for for Bitcoin. So snatch it up there, move it over to my wallet, make the exchange. I've got my investment all done. Right? There are things that you can do you should be paying attention to. It's not just purchasing, various coins or investing in different projects. It's also how you do it, the vehicles you use to make your purchases. Do your own research and figure things out. Ask me questions, right? Ask me questions. I might actually have done those things, and I might be able to give you some advice, and then you can go do some more research and it'll help you out. Maybe. Who knows? As you're doing your own research, you should check out the Commodity Futures Trading Commissions, or CFTC is what they're really known as. Their registration deficient list, or their red list. That red list is pretty, I'm looking at it right now, it's pretty comprehensive. It is pretty comprehensive. And that's something that you probably want to pay attention to because of, the ability to identify companies that are, not doing the right thing, right? So there was as comprehensive as it could be. They didn't have Eddie Alexander's company, Minifex, Minifex FX. He's accused of running a $59 million Ponzi scheme. And the reason why he was able to last for so long is because he operated this Ponzi scheme, alleged Ponzi scheme, is accused by the FBI. It's an alleged Ponzi scheme, but it was able to run, it's in receivership now. It was able to run so long because he introduced it to a tight-knit community. Haitian community is very tight-knit. So one Haitian tells another Haitian tells another Haitian tells you see where that goes. $59 million. $59 million of more and more people are coming out and speaking up against this company and Eddie Alexander. So again, you have to take the names of the people involved in a project, the company name, the previous company names, the investor, the large investors, the insiders. Do research on each one of those to see where everything's going. Not just what's their utility, how long have they been in business, all of those things. Put it together and put that in your portfolio, put that in your dossier about that particular project. And then you can make at least an educated decision on whether or not you want to make an investment. Do your own research. Anyway, let's get to the numbers. Something I did open was the winners and losers, and I definitely want to open that up. I'm looking because my dog looks like he might want to play fetch, and I'm hoping he gives me a couple of minutes to do so. So let me push on over. It's taking a little bit for my Excel spreadsheet to open up. And let's see. Let's get to the numbers. This is my test spreadsheet that I use. Like other people use online tools to actually, play out different things. I created my own tool so I can play with things right there in real time in my own spreadsheet, so I can make fake purchases and all this kind of stuff. But I also created this tool, which is my winners and losers list, top 25 of each, right? I need to kind of hone this tool. I need to create another one that's a top 25 winners and losers from the, $2 billion plus range to the $1 to $2 billion plus range, and then below $1 billion range, right? And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to be able to, now I normally just mess around with coins and projects that are in the $2+ billion range, sometimes in the $1+ billion range. But sometimes you have to do things to find that next mover and shaker and find new rhythms that are starting to happen. And you can do that when you have something that's a little bit more robust. And that's what I have to make, is something like that, to do something that's a little bit more robust. Now, if you look at the losers list, obviously there are not a lot. It comes down to about here. There are 3 that I would call out. None of those 3 are anything that I'm looking at. If you look at these, who am I messing with? I see Phantom is up 18%. That's a name I know. Harmony is up 13%. Waves, I have not messed around with, but Waves is up 13%. Nexo, yep, who I just spoke about, up 12%, right? So you're seeing things where, you're getting good bounce off of companies. Good news for Solana. They, got a nice little pop on, on the news, 11%. That's really cool. Do we have anything coming up? From a U.S. economic perspective, we don't really have anything coming up, but we do have a lot of companies like Netflix that are going to be announcing, their quarterly earnings this week. So that's kind of a big deal. Now, do you see this number? Fear and greed up 30%. Remember yesterday I said it was down, and I expected today to be up, and we are up. Now we're strongly in just the fear area. Ever be so happy to be fearful? The only reason I say that is because we've been living down here in extreme fear for a really long time. So remember I told you about that pent-up energy, and that pent-up energy is starting to pop through. Now, how long is this pent-up energy going to last? Over the past 30 days, Polygon is up almost 200%. So that ought to start to tell you something. And they're involved in things that are, like I said, there are projects out there like Polygon that are introducing, good news that's hitting now, good news that's going to hit in the near term, midterm, and long term. So they're going to have, over the period of the next few months, they're going to have more and more and more good news. Couple that with Ethereum, because remember, Polygon's a layer 2 that relies on Ethereum. Now, or helps Ethereum move faster. Now, think about that. Ethereum is about to blow up, or it has been blowing up, but they're about to have their merge. So there are a lot of things that are going on that would make you stop and go, wow, that's really cool. TVL up into the 80s. That's $10 billion in less than a week. Looking at Bitcoin again, here's my inner band, and here we are right now at above 2,000. We need to maintain. Now we hit there, surpassed 22,000, coming back to 22,000 on Bitcoin. I need to see a sustained level completely above 22,000 for a while before I can say we're not going to revisit that bottom again. So I don't know, but that's what I would need to see to have any confidence in that. Now, looking at this ETH, just look at the 1,550. Wow. That is huge. That's really, really huge. So I'm just looking at these things and looking at different opportunities that are there. XRP is down, but it's still up. Remember, less than a week ago, it was at like 30, 31 cents. It's at 36. So what's that, like 20%? I mean, not 20%. Yeah, no. But I'm sitting here and I'm kind of going, yeah, I'm happy with that number. I'm all right. I'm all right with that, right? Because you're making your money. So 1/10 of a percent, whatever it is. I'm not good with math off the top of my head. I can figure things out, but I'm not really great with math off the top of my head. But it's up about, call it 6 cents. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It is 20%. Looking at this, everything overall, remember, I'm looking at all of the impacts up to 30 days, and sometimes I'm looking at 90 days. So looking at that, you start coming down and you realize XRP for the past 30 days is up almost 16%. Solana up almost 45 or above 45% in the past 30 days, right? Here's Polygon, 158% in the past 30 days. Don't sleep on them, because right underneath that you have Avalanche, that's up 63%. You have Shiba Inu is up almost 50% in 30 days. Don't sleep on things. Don't look at the 1 hour and the 24 hour and the 7 day. Look at all of the numbers that are there. There's a reason why I keep telling you to use dollar cost averaging, and this is why. I know today's video is a little bit long. There was a lot of news to get out there, but there was also, I wanted to show you and demonstrate to you, this is what I'm teaching my kids. Pay attention to these things. It can make a difference. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a new video. Have a great day.